All right, more hot takes, more of your spicy opinions that I am personally going to fight you about. Hey Fragrance family, I'm David and I'm a fragrance pro, of course, your best source for everything fragrance related. Today I have another video that is going to be debating your hot takes. I love this series and I love your thoughts. Sometimes I hate your thoughts. Today you're going to find out which one I like or hate, but I love the discussion nonetheless. Let me know what you think of these and what is your hot take? What is your spicy opinion? Let me know down in the comments and I will get to those and I will personally go to your house and comment to your face. I won't do that, but I will make a video about it. And of course, if you like this type of content, please subscribe. It always helps out the channel and I think that you will really like it. Plus, you get an imaginary $1 million in Bitcoin if you do that. It's imaginary, but you get it. All right, with that out of the way, let's go ahead and get to a spicy comment here. I'm taking these comments from Instagram. I did polls on Instagram and YouTube. And of course, I also take them from the comments, like I mentioned before. These are from Instagram. So first comment here says, I think that Raja is the father of Jeremy, and they plan together to take over the frag industry. This is a really interesting conspiracy theory, and I am all aboard this theory here. I think this is an amazing conspiracy theory. Did I say amazing? If I did, let's mint the word amazing. It's an amazing word, amazing. But yes, Raja is the father of Jeremy. I am pretty sure about that. I saw it on the internet. All right, next comment here says, Steven, Redolescence, deliberately ripped off the design of those Raja bottles. Ooh! Now this is spicy. Now I really actually disagree with this. I personally have talked to Steven. He is a friend of mine, not a close friend, but we've talked on several occasions. And I actually did an interview on my channel with him that I'm going to publish at a future date. But I talked to him about this very thing. And I asked some pointed questions. One of them was, did you copy the Raja Dove bottles? And no, he didn't. At least that's what he said. And honestly, I would expect someone who did do that to say that anyway. But the reason why I believe him is because I don't think that they were inspired by Raja Dove. I really don't. If you look at them side by side. Okay, they're not the same bottles. Yes, they're square. Okay. Yes, they have colored glass. Okay. So you're telling me that in order to be a direct copy of a fragrance, they have to be just similar in shapes and similar in colors, and that would be a direct copy. It's not the same cap. It's not even the same dimensions of the bottle. They're very different dimensions. The color designs for the bottles, though they're kind of in similar palettes, they're not for the same styles of fragrances. The fragrances themselves are not even copied after Raja Dove. I think that it's just one of those things where it's an unfortunate coincidence. Plus, I think if you're going to talk about copies, I think there are plenty of other bottles that look more alike than that. I mean, did Raja Dove copy Ormond Jane or Ormond Jane copy Raja Dove? Or did they both copy Chanel? Those bottles look a lot more similar than the Navitus line does to Raja Dove. It's just the colors. I think that's really all it is. If you were to take the colors away and you were to compare the bottles and the caps side by side, you would say, yeah, they're square, but a lot of bottles are square. There's tons of different bottles that are square. That doesn't mean they're copying each other. So no, not at all. All right, next comment says, Atat Libre d'Orange, their frag names try to be provocative, but lack in visuals nor match the scent. I think the way that it's worded is a little bit unclear, but I think I know what you mean here. Atat Libre d'Orange deliberately tries to be provocative. And I think that that kind of attitude takes away from their actual fragrances themselves. They get a lot more press for being provocative than they do for their actual scents. Because I think that their actual scents, though they are good, I don't necessarily think that most of their scents are amazing. I think that they're really just trying to cash in on something that is risque or provocative, like you said. Like Secretions Magnifique. I don't know anyone in their right mind that would actually wear Secretions Magnifique. It's an interesting idea, and it is super provocative to have something that smells like bodily fluids and that type of thing. But it's not wearable, and it's only really something that I think that a certain niche crowd would really want. That is something that smells like nothing else in their fragrance collection. I think they have other fragrances that smell good, and they are well made, I think, but I just don't think that, I agree with you, I don't think that necessarily their fragrances are good for being good. I think they're really mostly going after the kind of imagery of their brand. And that's really what they're trying to bank on more than anything else. Which if that works for them, more power to them, good for them. But maybe not a brand that is necessarily resonating with me personally. Next comment says BR540, Baccarat Rouge 540, synthetic. Guess that must be why it's very popular. So many clones of the synthetic fragrance, huh? Synthetic is another one of those terms that I really take issue with because it doesn't really describe exactly what they're trying to convey. The term is just talking about the ingredients. Yeah, there are natural ingredients, which those are good when they're used in the way that they're supposed to be used. And yes, there are synthetic ingredients. Synthetic ingredients aren't inferior to natural ingredients. They're just a different tool in the toolbox. If you were a carpenter and you have to use hammers all the time, you wouldn't call wire snippers inferior just because you didn't like them or you didn't use them. Wire snippers might not be useful for you as a carpenter all the time, but they're really useful for an electrician. Natural ingredients and synthetic ingredients have different properties to them that make them useful for perfumers. Dismissing something as synthetic just because it might have synthetic ingredients in there kind of misses the point of why synthetics are used. It's just another one of those tools that can be used to make fragrances smell better. They can make a fragrance smell leaner. They can make a fragrance smell not bloated in a way that a lot of natural ingredients can. That's not even going on to mention that a lot of synthetics are derived from natural processes. It doesn't mean they're made with like bleach and different chemicals or anything. It just means they are synthesized from something. So the term synthetic is often used as a derogatory term to describe something as maybe being harsh, or maybe not smelling a certain way, or maybe not performing a certain way, or developing in a natural way. I really don't know exactly how it's supposed to be described. No one really has defined what the term means. They just go on repeating it, and people kind of assume what the definition means. So I think it's a really bad argument. So yeah, I guess I can talk ad nauseum about something that just had 2 words in it. Baccarat Rouge 540 synthetic. I don't know. There probably are synthetics in it, but I really like Baccarat Rouge 540. Which brings me to my next comment here. BR540 is overrated and doesn't last as long as others from the MFK, Maison Francis Kurkdjian house. And so I get what you're saying here. I do think that it is overrated in some ways. It has become one of those things where I really loved Baccarat Rouge 540 when I first smelled it. I thought it was unlike anything I had ever smelled. It had this really interesting idea of being partly woody, partly musky, partly sweet, in this really kind of in-between space. I really love the interplay between the sugary aspect and the ambergris and the woods, that kind of thing. I love it. I really genuinely love it. That being said, nowadays I like it less because there are so many clones of it, because it's been so popular and has gotten so big within the perfume world. It's one of those fragrances where I don't really like it anymore. I smell it on a lot of ladies, and I've just smelled it way too many times. It's just one of those fragrances with me. I've smelled it a lot of counterfeits and clones, a lot of copycats, a lot of inspired by BR540 fragrances out there. All of them may be good in their own way, but now I think it's overrated. But it's not necessarily because of the MFK house. I think they did a really good job with this fragrance. It's just a victim of its own success, really. That is the only reason. The last part of his comment says it doesn't last as long as others in the Maison Francis Kurkdjian house. And I think that the original one, I thought that it lasted a pretty decent amount. I liked it. I had a good performance on me. The X-Straight version I thought was even better with the performance. I thought it was absolutely beastly in its performance. So I think if you like that one, maybe go to that one. And it also brought out some extra facets of the fragrance. Like I thought it brought out a little bit more of the ambergris type of quality in that fragrance. The X-Straight did. So I like that one for that reason. But yeah, I agree with you, Nick. I think that it is probably overrated now because of its success. And maybe doesn't last as long as the other ones. Not a big hit for me though, personally. All right, next comment here says that Raja Dove is incredibly overrated and overpriced. Ooh, that kind of hurts a little bit. Oh man, I know where you're coming from. I see your point here, and I don't necessarily agree, but I guess we can agree to disagree. I think that Raja Dove's line, I think, is a really good line. I really like it. I really appreciate it. I don't like all his fragrances. I think some are better than others. Personally, I like his, what is his perfume cologne line? I forgot what they call it, the parfum cologne, whatever the new line with the colored bottles is. I like that one a lot more. I think those are a little bit more wearable. I find that I don't always resonate with Roger Dove's fragrances personally. So I think that he has a certain perspective on fragrances that is a little bit Baroque. It has a very complex type of style to it and very intricately made, and in some ways maybe older in style than I would prefer. The prices of his fragrances I think are interesting too, because I think that he purposefully made his prices that way. Well, I don't know how much it cost him to run his business or whatever, so I can't really assume anything really there. But I think that part of the reason why some of his fragrances are that price is because of exclusivity. To be an exclusive kind of boutique type of brand that doesn't invite everyone into its company, and it doesn't invite every customer. It's only for a particular customer, especially for those customers that buy the original creations that he had. I think that his parfum cologne line that he has is a little bit more accessible. It's a little bit more fair priced. And I think it personally is a little bit more wearable too. So I guess I don't disagree with you here, but I don't agree either. I'm kind of in this quasi, I agree with some parts and disagree with other parts. So I can see your point, but I guess I don't know what else to go here. Next comment. Oh boy. All right. Next comment says, compliments are important and a universal sign that a scent is pleasing to others. Okay. Whew. Oh boy. How do I unpack this here? All right. Compliments are important. Let me ask, why are compliments important to you? Have you asked that about yourself? Why are compliments important to you? Are they important to you, and why? Because I've asked this about myself and I've come to a different conclusion than you have. I don't think that compliments are important because I don't need compliments. I don't need someone to approve what I'm wearing. I don't need someone to say that they like the fragrance because I don't care. I want to wear a fragrance for me. Do I like the fragrance? I'm buying the fragrance. It's my money. If they buy the fragrance, they can tell me what to wear. I'll wear a fragrance that they buy, sure. I'll wear it, sure. If I'm spending my own money, I want to buy what I like. And I don't need compliments. I don't need someone to constantly tell me they like the way I smell. I know that I like the way that I smell. I know that the way I smell is good. I don't need affirmation of that. I think there are people out there who might need the affirmation. And I don't necessarily think that that is good or bad. I think it just might be a personality difference. Maybe some people do need the verbal affirmation, that they need the assurance from somebody. They need the approval of somebody. I'm not someone's judge. I'm not sitting here saying that's good or bad. But I want to ask, why do you think that it's that important? His justification here is that it's a universal sign that it is a good fragrance, but it's not. What I've found is that people who give compliments will give comments when they think that it's good, but they won't necessarily give comments when something is bad. So compliments are always skewed toward a certain bias. It's not that something is good or bad. Also, too, I think that there are a lot of people who won't comment either way. I've passed by some people that I thought smelled good, but I would never go up to them and say I thought they smelled good. It just takes a certain person, I guess, to want to comment. I've also smelled things that I thought smelled bad and I wouldn't say anything either, because I don't give comments on what people wear for fragrances. And nothing can be universal. Everything is subjective. The fact that maybe you have a friend who likes Sauvage or something, or a colleague that likes Sauvage, doesn't necessarily mean that Sauvage is good. It just means that that person likes the way that Sauvage smells. And I also think it's funny, if someone is really into compliments and they want fragrances that get compliments, why even be a collector? Why even be in the fragrance world at all? All you would need is just one fragrance that gets universal compliments, right? I mean, if your goal is to get compliments, I would think that you would want to narrow down how many fragrances you have to maybe one or two, and that's it. You wouldn't need more than that. I don't think that there is a need to really be a collector of having multiple fragrances and make sure that those are good by constantly having them being commented on and complimented about. Also, too, I really don't care about the compliments of some people that aren't important to me. There are people in my life that mean more to me than other people in my life. And that's with everybody. Everybody cares more about some people than other people. And the comments by those people mean more than the people that I don't care about. If I get a compliment from someone on the street that says my fragrance sucks or something like that, what do I care? What do I care what they think? But if someone really close to me says they really don't like the way that smells, then that's going to give me pause to change. If I get a compliment from someone that is really close to me, that means more than someone who doesn't mean more to me. If they walk up to me on the street and says, "Oh, I love the way that smells," thanks. And I'll just go about and live my life. If someone really close to me loves the way this smells, I might decide to wear it more. So, though I understand where you're coming from with compliments, I understand maybe wearing something that other people might like occasionally. I think that it's definitely weighted. I don't think it's universal. I think it's definitely weighted towards people that really mean a lot to you. And I don't personally wear fragrances for everybody, not even people I really care about that are really close to me. I think that I usually just wear fragrance for myself. I don't ask if they like it. I don't ask everyone around me if it smells good. I just wear it because I know it smells good. And that's all I need. I want a fragrance that I think is going to make me feel good. And that's what makes me feel good. Maybe you're different. And like I said, I'm not throwing any stones. Just ask yourself why. Next comment says, F seasons and occasions. If you love the cologne and feel like it, wear it confidently. Yes, 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 yes. I agree. Though I do think that there is an importance in wearing a fragrance that makes more sense in the seasons. I don't think that it's necessarily a rule. I usually talk about seasons and stuff like that just as a guide. I don't always abide by that guide. I think there's obviously times when I want to break that. But I like that just because it puts me in a certain state of mind whenever I wear that fragrance. I like wearing citrusy fragrances, especially in the warmer weather. I just like the way that it makes me feel in the warmer weather. I like wearing vanilla fragrances or those, gourmand fragrances. I like wearing those in the fall because it makes me feel a certain way. I like wearing strong fragrances in the winter just because I like the way those kind of complement each other and it makes me feel certain ways about those seasons. But there are no rules. Just wear what you like. Wear it with confidence, as he said. Totally agree. All right, and last comment says, Office for Men is the greatest fragrance ever created. I know you're trolling. You have to be trolling, right? Because I definitely disagree with that for sure. With that, I'd like to thank my sponsor, Fragrance X. Fragrance X is an online retailer that sells thousands of legitimate fragrances for a discounted price. If you're considering buying a fragrance, definitely check out Fragrance X. I'll have a link down below to them as well as a coupon. But also check out Rakuten.com. Rakuten is a website that offers you a rebate for every purchase that you make through their website. They actually have a deal with Fragrance X and you can get a certain percentage off your product just by buying through Rakuten. So I'll have a link down below to them as well. Definitely check out Fragrance X and Rakuten together. Great. So that's all I have. What do you think? What are some of your spicy opinions? I'd love to know your thoughts. Give me your comments down below and I will get to those and I will personally hit you in the face. I won't do that, but I will fight you in the comments. Leave your spicy comments down below and I'll get to that in a future video. Thanks again for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe and click that little bell so you get a notification every time I make an upload. I'll see you next time. I'm Dave with the Fragrance Pros. Bye.